What's up YouTube? Casual Yugi stuff here. Welcome to this very special video. Today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be reviewing questions that you guys submitted on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, thank you so much for all the questions. We got in quite a few questions, a bit more than I was expecting. So thank you so much for submitting your questions. And here in this little notepad I have the top 15 which I will be answering essentially in this video, guys. So obviously now the channel's been going on for a long time, pretty much, yeah, about a year and a bit now. So we've come a long way. We started with pretty much no subscribers and now we're approaching 1.2 thousand, which is incredible. So big thanks to all you guys out there in the community. And essentially I realised you don't really know much about myself, about my collection, you know, not really my personal life, but more so with regards to Yu-Gi-Oh and collecting and where it all began and how it all started. So you asked those questions, I'm going to answer them for you guys. I tried to structure them in an order, so I guess I hope you enjoy this video, guys. Please leave a thumbs up if you do, and let me know if you want to see more Q&A videos like this one. So guys, starting off at number 1, we have a very good question, which is, since when do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? This was sent in by Label Yu-Gi-Oh. Thank you for your question. Since when do I play Yu-Gi-Oh? So that's a really good question. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh when I was living in Italy, and that was when I was about, I think it was about 4 or 5 years old, so back in 2003, 2003, so pretty much when Legend of Blue Eyes was released. So that was the sort of time I did start playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, good question. Question number 2 was submitted by Mark Reed Lusty. Thank you so much, Mark. I know you're a big fan of the channel. And he asks, what was your first pack or deck that you bought? Very, very, very good question, which does make me think a lot. So I'm going to answer both questions. The first pack that I bought wasn't bought, it was given to me at one of my friend's birthday parties in Italy. He was going round at the end of the party saying thank you, sort of, you know, in a little goodie bag style. He had a big bowl, a big bowl full of Yu-Gi-Oh packs. And what pack was it? It was Magic Ruler, Italian first edition Magic Ruler packs, which was pretty incredible. And he comes up to me, his name was Pietro, so that's Peter, and he goes, Jamie, do you want a pack? And I was like, no, honestly, it's fine. I'm not into Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't collect. I don't play. I don't know how to. And he was like, honestly, try it. Open it. It's good fun. And I was like, fair enough. Okay. So then he leaves and goes with this massive bowl and starts giving them out to all the other kids. And I open it, and in that pack, I can still remember today that there was a crab turtle in there, which is a very, very special card to me. And it's really, really nice artwork. That's one of my most nostalgic cards. The first Yu-Gi-Oh memory for me would be opening that pack, which Pietro gave me at his 4th or 5th birthday party. And then what was the first deck that I bought? It was shortly after that experience. I went to big shopping centre with my family and my brother, and of course we bought 2 starter decks. I had the starter deck Joey and he had the starter deck Kaiba. So, number 3 is another question from Mark Reed Lusty, who says, what inspired you to make a YouTube channel? So, here I am today. I think the main inspiration, great question by the way, the main inspiration to, of course, start my YouTube channel would probably be just having watched lots of other famous YouTubers, for example, Simply Unlucky, for example, Cyberknight, for example, Rhyme Style, you know, all these cool guys who, you know, you can spend hours of your time just watching all of their videos online, all their pack openings, so on and so forth. But I'd also say another key factor and key moment in deciding to make a YouTube channel was when my PSA cards came back from PSA for the first time. I'd watched so many videos, you know, to mention, of course, the Old School Expert as well. Massive influence in my decision to make my channel. Yeah, he used to get all these PSA cards, and I used to say, oh my god, I wish I could get my hands on PSA. I wish I was in the USA and was able to to grade my cards, but I got them back and I made that first video, which I'll put a link to actually in the description bubble up there, I think it is, and you can watch that. My first ever video. I've come a long way since then, which is crazy. So yeah, I'd say, you know, watching other people as well as my PSA grader returns definitely inspired me to make a channel. Okay guys, so number 4 is a question submitted by AdriXNHZ, who says, when did you start collecting? What is my most valuable card? Now, I should have brought it with me. One of my most valuable cards is one of my PSA cards, which is PSA 10 graded, and it's a ghost rare, and it's Shooting Star Dragon. I'll have a picture of it come up on screen. It's a very valuable card. It's population of 3, I think. So that's probably what makes it more expensive than some of my other cards, is because it's such a low population, and I have one of the 3 of these PSA 10 cards in the world. So that's probably, in my opinion, my most valuable card, price-wise. Not, you know, sentimentally, but value-wise. Good question. Number 5, guys, we have a question submitted from The Collector's Vault, and also a really nice guy who has a YouTube channel. His name is Mike. Make sure you check him out. I will leave a link to The Collector's Vault's channel in the description below. And he asks, what is your prized possession in Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Very good question. I put this one after the most valuable card because not necessarily is my most valuable card my most prized possession. Now, my pride and joy, guys, I'm sure most of you know what it is, but it's the beautiful Rainbow Dragon PSA 10 Ghost Rare First Edition. Now, this card is the reason why I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the reason why I started collecting. It, to me, is the most valuable card. Now, that card has a fantastic story as well. It was left in a binder. I'll see if I can get some pictures come up on here. It was left in a binder for years, just sitting on my bookshelf in the lounge. No sleeve or anything. It was just sat there. So one day when I dug it out of the binder, I managed to sleeve it at least, and finally look into PSA grading, and that's the whole card and the whole reason why I submitted those first cards to PSA, because I genuinely thought that this card could get a PSA 10, and when it came back as PSA 10, it was a dream. It was like a dream come true. So fantastic question, The Collector's Vault. Thank you, Mike, for your question. Really good one. Moving on to number 6, we have a submitted question from Misprint Hunter and LOB to AST. It's kind of similar, it's kind of the same question. And they ask, what is your favourite card and why? And LOB to AST asks the same question, and what set and rarity from that same question. So what is my favourite card and which set and rarity? Okay, this is a very tough question, guys. Very tough question. Of course, Rainbow Dragon is a great card of mine, and I really do like it. But whether it's my favourite card, I'm not entirely sure. Now, I've always been a fan of Yamata Dragon, Crab Turtle, of course Rainbow Dragon, and I do like Stardust Dragon and Red Dragon Archfiend as well. So it's a very difficult question, and I think pretty much any collector can struggle to answer this question. But I think because of the sentimental value behind the card, and because it was the first card I ever saw when I opened a pack, I'm going to say Crab Turtle. And also, another fun fact about me, I'm a Cancer star sign, so Crab Turtle is my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh card. Moving on to number 7, a question submitted by Hungry's GV Foodie, who says, if your house is burning and can only take one card with you, which one will it be and why? Well, I'd probably run from a fire. Hopefully, if I had time to take a card, good question, I'd probably take my, I don't know, probably be Rainbow Dragon Ghost Rare PSA 10, but it's so locked away in my secret stash that it would take a lot of time to get to. So I'd probably say Rainbow Dragon PSA 10, just because it's the card which made me start getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, number 8 is a great question from YuGiOh Poke Seller. So thank you, YuGiOh Poke Seller. He says, is there a card you want to get your hands on before the end of the year? Now this is a pretty good question, to which I would say yes, there are cards I plan on getting before the end of the year. One of them being Black Rose Dragon Ghost Rare First Edition, PSA 7 or above. I'm only going for a near mint Black Rose Dragon Ghost Rare. You know, I have a PSA 7 Stardust Dragon, so I think matching 7s would look pretty cool, but then I would like an 8 or a 9 realistically, but they're very expensive. And another card I've been after as well for a while, and I'd like to get before the end of the year, of course with the way things are going at the moment, being stuck at home is kind of frustrating, so I'm really, you know, planning ahead for Yu-Gi-Oh! The other card is Aeneos, Elemental Hero Aeneos, so that's a beautiful card. It's just so difficult to find in near mint condition, and I'd like to PSA grade it at 8 or 9, or even 10 if I can find one raw, or if not just buy a graded one already. But that's probably a more expensive option. So that's a really, really good question. Thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokeseller. Coming in at number 9, we have, let me just find it, number 9. Yu-Gi Italy. Grazie amico mio per la tua domanda. I thought I'd just bust out some Italian. So Yu-Gi Italy asks, what's your 2020 collection goal? Fantastic question. Really, really good question. So we're already in April of 2020 today, being the 1st of April. I'm recording this video, hoping to get it up as soon as possible for you guys. My collection goal for this year would be have all of the ghost rares from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Yeah, all of the ghost rares in PSA 7 or higher, first edition ghost rares. So we need Black Rose Dragon, Majestic Star Dragon, Junk Berserker, Odin, Dragon Draco Equist, and a few more, I can't remember. But having all of those is a definite goal of mine. As well as to have all of the cover cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in max rarity, so Ultimate Rare and Ghost Rares. So from Horus, Ancient Gear Golem, Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys, Cyber End Dragon, Elemental Hero Shining Phoenix Enforcer, Shining Flare Wingman, Cyber Dark Dragon, everything. So those are my goals for having those in 9 and 10 PSA graded. So yeah, really good question. That's my goal for this year. Number 10 is a question submitted by nost.YuGiOh. Thank you, Nost Yu-Gi-Oh! And he says, would love to hear some of your personal and somewhat realistic collection goals. Very good question. So similar to what I've just said, having those PSA graded cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is definitely interesting for me to have in my collection. But also, I'd like to have every single card from Yu-Gi-Oh! Since Yu-Gi-Oh! Began, so Legend Blue Eyes, until Extreme Victory. So Duel Monsters through GX, enter 5Ds, have every single card printed in first edition. That is my goal, and have those in 3 separate binders. All the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, all the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, all the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. That would be ideal. And then there's always other stuff. I think there's no real limit when it comes to PSA grading. And collecting PSA graded cards, because it's so vast, it's pretty much never ending. You're never going to max out your collection unless you invest thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds. So that would be my goal. I'd be very happy to have every first edition card. Coming in at number 11, guys, we have a question from Mr. Rainbow Neos King. A very nice guy in the community, Rainbow Neos. So if you're watching this, thank you for your question. And he says, what Yu-Gi-Oh! Card or cards do you think are still underrated in terms of price at this point? Good question. So your name is Rainbow Neos, and I would suggest that Rainbow Neos is an actual underrated card at this point, because Ghost Rare PSA 10 Rainbow Neos is probably not as desirable as a Rainbow Dragon or as a Stardust Dragon or Black Rose Dragon. My opinion. I'm sure you disagree. But I'd say Rainbow Neos is definitely an underrated card, as well as certain Ghost Rares. So I'd say, you know, Junk Berserker is pretty underrated. I'd also say Odin, Father of the Azir, as well as Dragon Knight Draco Equist is very underrated from 5Ds. Moving on to GX, some cards in there that I think are underrated. I think some of those, you know, GX secret rares such as Arcana Force, the Dark Ruler is a very underrated card in my opinion, from Night of Destruction. Then you've got Phantom Darkness secret rares like Dark Grepher. Those cards are very hard to find in near mint first edition, gradable condition. As well as anything really from Soul of the Duelist through to Rise of Destiny and Flaming Eternity. Horus, the Black Flame Dragon. I think it's a beautiful card. It's so expensive, but it's quite underrated, I'd say, still. You know, the focus is more so on Ancient Gear Golem onwards, because Sacred Phoenix, the creator, I think is very underrated, the creator, and Horus. Those are the weird sets that are before Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, but after Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. That crossover, those 3 cards I think are quite underrated in my opinion. So those cards I think would be underrated. Then there's loads of cards, of course, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters which are underrated as well, but just haven't got time to name them all. Right, guys, so number 12 is a question submitted by... Where is it? Okay, 416 Rare Cards. Very, very friendly guy as well. On Instagram, 416.rare.cards. Thank you for your question. He says, do you feel the market for sealed Yu-Gi-Oh! Is healthy? Where do I see it in 5 years' time? Great question. For sealed Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're talking sealed product, which of course 416 Rare Cards sells lots of, so make sure you check him out. I'll leave a link to his Instagram below. Yeah, I think it's pretty healthy at the moment. Of course, with the crazy stuff going on in the world at the moment, I believe that just demonstrates how healthy the actual market is, because it's still being quite strong. We haven't seen any price dips yet, because it's still quite early on. But I think it's relatively healthy, especially with regards to stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds now becoming even more so recognised. If you've invested in seal stuff, I think it's a really clever decision. And it's never too late to invest either, so definitely keep investing. And with regards to where do I see it in 5 years' time, I think it's going to increase. Obviously, myself, I'm 22 years old currently, so I'm working, you know, a job at the moment, and I'm getting paid, and I'm going to use this money, disposable income, and invest in my hobby, and lots of other people are as well. And that's why I'm, you know, investing in 5Ds at the moment, and I'm even looking to go into Zexal soon. So yeah, I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal at the moment. Pretty much, that's where I think it's going in 5 years. It's probably going to rise consistently at a sort of a fixed rate. That's what I think the sealed market's gonna look like. Great question, 416. Okay, number 13. 3 questions to go, guys. This one was from LUcards__. He asks, what do you think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market will look like in 10 years' time? That is a... So I'll be 32 by this time, by the time that the 10 years is over, so pretty scary to think about that. I think in 10 years' time, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market will... I think it would have slowed down. I think it would have slowed down quite dramatically by then, because we argue that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters with Yugi, Kaiba, Joey, Pegasus, everyone was the most iconic, the most memorable. I'd say if that was 100% memorable from everybody, because you only cumulatively watch Yu-Gi-Oh! So you would watch the first one, then GX, then 5Ds. I think over time it's going to slow down. So we've seen 100% of people relating with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Then you can say maybe 85% relating to GX. Of those 100, 85 relate with GX. Then of those 100, maybe 60 or 55% relate with Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. So you can see a bit of a decline. And then for Zexal, I think it really must drop down to about 30%. And then Arc 5, probably like 10-15%. And then the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Nobody knows about, no one cares about. But in 10 years' time, that's what's going to be old. And I don't think people are going to want to collect, because everything's massively printed at the moment. So I think it's going to be a very, very drastic drop. So we've seen a rise, and a very high rise in, you know, pricing at the moment. But I think it's going to fade out over time, just because the current sets from Zexal onwards aren't very relatable. In my opinion, I could be completely wrong. I don't know what I'm saying really, but great question. Got me thinking. Right, guys, the second to last question is from the man himself, Mr. YuGiOh Prodigy. Thank you so much, bro, for your epic question. YuGiOh Prodigy, if you haven't subscribed to his channel, if you don't know who he is, definitely do. Check him out. This is his channel. I'll link it down below as well. Epic dude. Really, really friendly guy. I love watching his videos, and if you enjoy my videos, you'll double enjoy his, because he's creating epic content on at the moment. So make sure you check him out. And he asks, what, in your opinion, is the rarest and most difficult Yu-Gi-Oh! Item to obtain of all time? Wow, that's a head scratcher, Mr. YuGiOh Prodigy. The most difficult thing to obtain, in my opinion, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Market. I don't know. What would I have to say to that? Obviously, it's difficult to understand because my ideal item to own would probably be... See, I'd probably say a PSA 10 graded Ghost Rare Stardust Dragon First Edition Ghost Rare. That would probably be the most difficult thing for me to obtain. 1, because it's so expensive, 2, because it's such a low population, and 3, because it, in my opinion, is the best looking Ghost Rare, and it's such an iconic card, and I really did enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, guys. So that, Mr. YuGiOh Prodigy, is the most difficult Yu-Gi-Oh item to obtain of all time, in my opinion. Great question, though. I could be wrong, but I'm sure tomorrow I'll say a different card is or a different sealed product is the most difficult thing to obtain. But fantastic question, bro. Thank you. Okay, guys, it's time for the final question of the Yu-Gi-Oh question and answer with Casual Yu-Gi stuff. Myself, Jamie. I feel like I'm a television star doing all these questions, but we're down to the last one, which is by Mr. YuGiOh_UK. So thank you, YuGiOh UK. And he asked, what is your biggest aim with Yu-Gi-Oh? I thought I'd end on this pretty deep question because my aim, I don't really have one. I don't really have an aim with Yu-Gi-Oh, guys. I aim to have fun, predominantly. I aim to have a good time. I aim to have a healthy hobby and a healthy collection because it is very healthy. Regarding price and how much you put into it, probably not, but it is a healthy collection. That's definitely a goal of mine, to have a healthy collection and to look back in years to come when, you know, in a future that I have children, or in a future that I, you know, start a family or move, or I don't know what the hell the future has for us. You know, I can look back on my box full of Yu-Gi-Oh fun, and every time I open that box, it takes me back to my childhood, takes me back to when I was doing videos like these. That is exactly what I want to feel when I look at my Yu-Gi-Oh collection. So I don't really have an aim. Like, I'm on YouTube to have fun. I'm not here for the views. I'm not here for making it big. Like, I was inspired by the people who were big, so I'm just grateful for everything that you guys put into the effort to watch my video, to even hit the subscribe button or like button. It's just crazy. It goes such a long way, and it makes my day making videos for you guys to enjoy. Every comment I try and reply to, if you haven't noticed. And yeah, it's just been a fantastic journey in this first year and a bit that I've been doing YouTube, and rediscovered my passion pretty much January last year, 2019. And I just plan to keep it going and have a really fun time collecting Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really enjoyed answering your questions. Apologies to those of you who submitted questions and are watching and didn't make it into the top 15. But they were all very good questions. It was very difficult to choose. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, if you want to see more videos like this one. I had a really good time, and I hope you enjoyed this video, getting to know Casual Yu-Gi stuff and Yu-Gi-Oh! And in general, what I'm after and what my collection is like, and some kind of fun facts about me as well. It's been really, really enjoyable, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Casual Yu-Gi stuff. I'll catch you all in the next video. Ciao for now. Thank you for watching. Peace.